Hello guys, I'm Jacob.
And I'm Jonas.
You wanna know more about Lego Game in Space? Tune in Bamster's Rated R podcast with me, Jacob.
And me, Jonas. We're talking Space Scavenger.
See you there.
Hello guys and welcome back. My name is Bamm Havoc and welcome to this week's episode. Apologies for not launching an episode last week. We needed a week off, and we are back better than ever. To start off this week's episode in the A block, I'm going to be discussing a relatively old topic, but something I see no one has done, and this has really bugged me a bit. It's got a bit of a bugbear. A lot of people have opinions, and rightfully so. I mean, I've got my opinions about this whole debacle, but cutting to the chase, CCP has been sold. Now, wrote an article about this a couple of weeks back in the website, whatever have you, that we have, bamster.com, yeehaw. Best website since ever, and a lot of this article was written by myself, but a lot of it was influenced by a friend of mine who is my guy when it comes to business sense and whatever have you, G. So co-authored by myself and G, and let's just get back down to it because I don't want to stall anymore. Right, as we all know, a couple of months back, CCP announced they were selling to Abyss. I don't know why I'm saying Abyss, but it's Abyss. And we're just going to shorten it down to PA for sake of argument, just to keep things straight and simple. Alright? Abyss make a game called Black Desert Online, and it is a huge juggernaut in the Asian marketing scene, and they have now purchased CCP Games. Now, after you peel away the PR drivel and the marketing fancy that's been said by both CEOs, you can kind of get down to the nitty-gritty of what's actually been said, and a lot of questions are answered by what's been said. A lot of questions have been asked, but you can find all of these answers in the official release statement. Now, there's a link in the description below. G, who does this bits and things, will stick it down below to the original article that I am directly quoting from. It happens to be from an Icelandic newspaper. That's the source I'm going from. So here we go. Let's remove the marketing drivel, PR nonsense, and let's see what's been said. Right, the CEO of Abyss is Robin Young, and he has stated, "We have CCP Games. Black Desert Online will continue to branch out globally." Now, I actually believe that, because Black Desert Online is a huge MMORPG, absolutely massive. And seeing that they have CCP Games makes me feel actually quite happy for them, because there'll be an influx of cash, I hope so. You know, the longevity of the game, both games, all the games, many games. You know, I know there's a super secret MMORPG product they're developing in London. I want to go visit that one and see what's happening down there. But, you know, enough of that. Let's get back down to the the topic at hand. We're stripping apart what's being said. Again, we have CCP Games. Black Desert Online will continue to branch out globally. It's a very strong posture statement from Abyss. CCP is just the latest acquisition in the MMORPG field. Black Desert Online is truly massive and expanding fast. You can read the article, I've said a bit more, but, you know, I'm keeping it, short. It's very interesting to see how the Asian gaming companies monetize and treat their IPs on the platforms they use, as well as their customers, compared to the Western market. This is how I feel they've managed to dominate so much, because of the different monetization models. It just works for the Asian market, not necessarily for the Western market, European market, Russian market. I don't think it necessarily works that well there, which is why CCP have gone free to play and prescription, subscription. You know, so it's interesting to see what the two markets are going to be like in about a year's time. We'll see. The next statement was, CCP have maintained their customer base. CCP have maintained their customer base, which we aim to integrate natively into Abyss. Now, that's a very, very, very scary statement. Noting that CCP have managed to maintain quite a significant player base of that genre, MMORPG field, whatever you want to call it, and they wish to natively integrate that player base into Abyss. That's interesting. That's interesting. I do believe CCP's actions over the past few years have paid off. I do believe they have been trying to sell themselves for about 4 years now. Myself and G, we both called it. I hate to say it like this, but we told you so. CC, I'm not gloating, honestly, I'm not. I'm actually happy, a bit sad, a bit elated. G and myself both called that CCP Games were selling because of the way the business was restructuring itself, closing down projects such as Dust 514, reopening new ones such as Legion and now Nova, cancelling projects like Valkyrie, so on and so forth. Valkyrie has its own demons, which we will get to eventually, but not yet. Anyway, it's a very interesting statement, that one. The next one is even more interesting. Robin Young said that CCP's IP will help reaffirm our company. Now, CCP has many IPs, EVE Online being the most famous, most popular, the most well-known. The most expensive battles in gaming history have taken place. The biggest, most nastiest, double cutthroat back, whatever have you, happens in EVE Online. Not in kiddie area World of Warcraft. You know, CCP's EVE Online is where you go, roll your sleeves up and get your hands dirty, which is why a lot of people like to comment on these sort of things, such as myself. Now, as I said, that's a very interesting comment. I don't think Pearl Abyss needs reaffirming in the Asian market because they are just that massive. I think they need reaffirming as a legitimate Western IP through CCP because they don't have a foothold in the Western market. Now, when I say Western market, I'm including America, Europe, and Russia, just to save a bit of time. I'm tarring them all with the same brush, just clump them all together. So they need a Western outlet, or rather a Western funnel to start funneling in some of that Western money into the Asian market, where they can then hopefully give it back to CCP and then develop more. Make sure that Nova actually becomes what everyone wants to be. Nova. You know, there's a lot of good things happening with Nova. Fighting on spaceships, that sounds like a lot of fun. We've been promised that for ages. I really do hope it goes through. Now, the interesting thing here, right, is that I don't think, again, referring back to the fact that they need to be reaffirmed, I don't think they need to do. The Asian market is the Asian market. That's its own little bubble, right? Coming across to the Western market with the actual AAA publishers and developers are in such utter shambles right now. Look at EA. EA have... Sorry, I am a bit ill, right? At the time of recording this, my voice is a bit croaky. EA are in utter shambles. Battlefield 5, based on the pre-orders, has tanked. Battlefront 2, based on the loot boxes, tanked. Battlefront 1, tanked. Battlefield 1, tanked. The only game that hasn't tanked, that has come out from DICE, is Battlefield 4. Believe it or not. I still play Battlefield 4, because why do I want to go play a reskin Battlefield that doesn't have helicopters or RPGs? I can't relate to the World War I histories. I can't necessarily relate to the World War II histories. But when it comes to Battlefield 4, man, you got everything. Choppers, planes, RPGs, tanks, assault rifles have been very well balanced. You've got everything. You've got everything. So I don't think they need to reaffirm themselves in any way with regards to the Western AAA publishers. Activision's butchery of Destiny 1 and 2, EA's Get Work Go Broke campaign is just horrible. You know, the only one I can really think of, Rockstar, but Rockstar have got their own demons, you know, so leave them be. So I think they're on fairly good footing if they use CCP as a way to get into the Western market through their IPs. I think it's a brilliant idea. So yes, reaffirming, I don't think that's the right word to use, but yeah, they've got a footing, which is I think what they need right now. That's all I can really glean from what the CEO of Jung said. CEO of Jung, that's great. CEO of PA, Robin Jung said. I am ill, I apologize, I'm getting things wrong here. Now, CCP Games CEO Hilmar hasn't said very much, believe it or not. And again, after you peel away the PR riffraff and the marketing mumbo jumbo, he still hasn't said much at all. He's just reaffirming what the CEO of Pearl Abyss has said. So what has Hilmar said? Hilmar has said, I have visited Black Desert Online and became a player of the game. That's actually a good thing. You know, to become a plays many games, gets ideas. You know, who says you can't only play one game and the rest of your life? Incredibly boring. Very boring, says the man who plays Gran Turismo almost every day. As I said, it's very good to know he's got other interests, plays other games, and explores what else is there, you know. He has also gone on to say Pearl Abyss is a fast-growing company with the capability. Now, that is very, very, very reassuring, knowing that Pearl Abyss has the capability to help CCP and maintain CCP, because let's face it, I don't want Pearl Abyss to do an EA on CCP games and just basically take all their things, shut the doors, done. That's just not going to help anybody at all. However, he is still confirming what the CEO of Pearl Abyss has said. He hasn't really said much else apart from he plays the game so far. It's a fast-growing company. Yeah, we know that. Robin said that already. Hilmar, dude, you want to say a bit more? We are excited to join, he goes on to say. Yeah, this is an exciting time for CCP. Hopefully a fresh flow of cash into EVE Online, Project Nova finally getting funded and nobody having to worry about much more problems with it, and hopefully there's going to be a super secret MMORPG being developed in London. Who knows? We might even see a revival of a Valkyrie-esque type game. Yeah, again, Valkyrie had its own demons. We will cover that eventually. It was a sad thing to see Valkyrie die so young, like a phoenix to the ashes. Very, very, very sad. Having said all this, there will be changes in CCP internally and externally, and not a lot of people are going to like it. So stand by for turmoil and drama. Honestly, for the next year or so, lots of drama. So yes, that was my sort of light skim on CCP games being sold to Pearl Abyss. A lot of people have been poking me about it. They want to know my opinion about it, and there we go. I'm happy for CCP. They finally managed to get an influx of cash, or at least I hope they have managed to get an influx of cash. And I do hope they get to finish off their Project Nova and name it something awesome and not Nova. Because let's face it, Legion was a much better name. It just was. It just was. And I do hope they finally mention their super secret MMORPG project in London. That's going to be fun. Yeah. So boys and girls, thank you very much for listening to me rattle on about CCP games being sold to Pearl Abyss and us having a bit of a skim what the CEOs and one of the developers have said. It'll be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Right, joining me is G. He's going to push us through to a break right now. I'm going to sit G down on the hot seat and we're going to be interviewing two Swedes from Red Cabin Games. Guys, thank you very much.
Hello Space Scavengers! Jag heter Jonas.
Och jag är Jakob.
Vi snackar om Space Scavenger, vårt nya indiespel på Bammsters Rated R podcast.
Ses där.
Hello guys, welcome back to another interview. Today joining me is the G of Talks, my PRC wingman in many endeavors in life. Guys, today we have the two developers from Red Cabin Games. Johannes, Jacob, say hello.
Hello.
Hey guys!
So G, you've brought Johannes and Jacob up. What are they here to talk about, G? Do tell.
Wait, am I supposed to introduce them? I thought... Oh, okay. Yeah, basically wandering around Gamescom, I got attacked repeatedly outside the Sweden Arena. Basically, people wanted to show me their games, and one of those that I kind of stumbled over was this little Space Scavenger game. Cute little thing where you fly around, scavenge things in space, 2D. And I just couldn't help myself but ask the guys, please come on the show, because I think this looks like good fun. It looks like an interesting little gem. Now, this is where Jonas or Jakob should show up and correct me and say, no, it's not fun, or I explained it wrong.
That's a very accurate description, I think.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So yeah, it's a little spaceship adventure game where you fly around and collect pieces for your ship and build your ship however you like in an intuitive way.
Kind of like
fight enemies, explore
Lego
planets.
in space.
Yeah, Lego in space is a good summary.
I like that summary. Now, when G says attacked repeatedly, I've got images of you two boys attacking them viciously and violent with axe, swords, and shields. Nice long dreadlocks and braids and stuff. But
Viking style.
exactly that, Viking style. I'm gonna reiterate this theme with you guys quite a lot because I'm outnumbered here to 3 Vikings. Is a bit it's a bit much here, yeah. But knowing G, you probably attacked him with hot dogs and sausages and cups of coffee and stuff. How did you two, or you 3 rather, bump into each other?
Well, literally, Bamm, just walking around the Sweden game arena. Because I think everybody there was just busy trying to show off their games to everybody.
Yeah, we were trying to collect as many people as the passerbys as possible. One of us usually, if we had no visitors at the moment, one of us played the game and the other one was just doing marketing and trying to shove people into the controller.
Not forcing them, though.
No, shoving, forcing, screaming, it was pretty accurate what you said.
Keeping an eye out for that pink-red badge.
Yeah, exactly.
Press.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting to see that G was absconded away with you two. Now, the point I was trying to drive home, and I don't think I asked the question correctly, was that when it comes to indie games, people like such as yourselves want people to play the game and then give them constructive feedback. That's what I was trying to get at. Did G give you any constructive feedback, or did he just say, "Feed me bacon"?
The queue to the game was huge, so we were so busy talking about bacon with so many people. So I don't know. No, but we got a lot of good feedback on Gamescom in general.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, we're still early in development, so any feedback sort of that we could get was super nice.
People were so friendly and so I didn't expect that from Gamescom at all, but it really changed my mind on how people were really friendly and helped us out a lot with many good points, feedback points. That was really, really good.
Well, it does help that you were in the nice part of Gamescom. Go outside to the entertainment area. Oh, don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
only
took
had
a few steps, and it was a few short steps, and then we returned to our boat.
Yeah, it was scary getting out there. I was super excited to go out and just have a look around the area, and then after like 20 minutes of being shoved around or pushed by people, we just said, let's go back to our little safe corner in the Sweden game arena and have a look over there instead. So it was way nicer.
G, did you try they were serving some herring or some... I think in the booth.
I think it was herring and like.
It's kind of the fermented fish stuff. I think they were serving it in.
Yeah, that's probably what it was.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I didn't. Yeah, I noticed with the Italians were handing out pizza, for example.
That's way better than the
they also
fermented
snaps,
fish.
I think.
They had the snaps.
Yeah,
the strong liquor.
Strong like shots.
Okay.
When you say the fermented fish, is that the fermented fish? Obviously it's herring, right? But it's got, is it cucumbers? Is it?
No, I think you put that in some kind of spices or herbs or...
Yeah, I'm not sure actually how they do it.
I think it's mixed in vinegar or something, and then they put cucumber with it, and then they let it sit, and then the vinegar obviously cooks the fish, and then it's served. I think I've had this one before.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
At least it's not the surström.
No, it's not the
exactly. Stinky one. It's
that would have been fun to watch.
Yeah,
they could, if they opened that, they would have to like evacuate.
Close the whole area.
Well, I guess there's no more games this year.
No more business area. We have to close this.
No, Bamm. The herring, if I'm getting it right, what I know is in Laksil, they put all sorts of spices. You can get them with curry flavor and various things. Usually, it's just a vinegar base that it's stored in. Quite delicious in my opinion. I know a lot of people don't like them, but we're here to talk about the game, not herring.
Well, yeah, I was just trying to see if I can get a feel for Gamescom. These guys have said that they were very uneasy, unsure of what Gamescom was going to be like. Now these guys, after going to an event, are like veterans among the pack. So
yeah, we learned a lot.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was our first show.
First
overall,
ever.
First ever, and first for the game. So. It was really nice just to see what happened when we put our game out there, and of course we learned a lot, and it was fun, mostly fun. Yeah,
we made a lot of changes just a few days before, and then even after the first day, we went home and made changes again to make it slightly easier to play and get more. So when you build your ship or when you kill enemies, different spaceship parts drop from enemies. So we had that set way too low, so people couldn't they could play it for 5 minutes and not get a single piece just because they were unlucky, and that's not a good Gamescom experience. You want instant to be able to give them more parts immediately, so they get the point of the game. So that's one of the changes we made directly after the first day. We just went home. Okay, we gotta fix this so people can actually play the fun part of the game.
Instant gratification, I think is the word you're looking for.
Yeah, I guess so. Because it's not important that it's actually balanced and in a perfect way, so that they get that sort of. So they get
hooked, kind of
we want to
understand the point of the game, much more quickly.
The balance is not the important part. It's important that they sort of get what the game is about, and then if it's not a perfect representation of what the final game is going to be, that's fine. As long as they get the point.
Yeah, I caught some of your YouTube updates on your videos. Yes, I've been doing some digging, and I would just like to know which one of you is the good-looking one.
That's Jonas, for sure.
I have no idea. I'm the only one that's single, so I guess that means it's Jacob who's the good-looking one.
But you both had beards, so that's where I draw the line of good-looking and not good-looking. So it's okay.
Yeah, Jacob's got the big beard.
The more beard you have, the sexier you are. Here we go.
Yeah, I guess more Viking looks.
Did you like the clips on YouTube, or are they horrible?
Honestly speaking, dude, I thought the game was very intriguing. Flying around space onto little planets and then picking up gear and scavenging parts for your ship to then reach your end goal. I think that's a very, very innovative. Reminds me of another little indie game with a similar sort of game style, and I'm in love with that game. And if there's another game to add to that love, I'm all for it.
Cool.
Yeah.
What's the game?
Yeah.
A bunch of guys who developed for their own little passion project called Cosmic Picnic.
Cosmic Picnic?
I have not heard of that.
Swedes as well, believe it or not.
All right, cool.
Our podcast is littered with Swedish people. There's just so many awesome things coming out of that country with regards to games and games development and people. It's just amazing. I don't know how we I'm not joking, out of the 100 or so interviews we've done, I want to say about 90% of that just being from Sweden. Because there's so much coming from Sweden, and all of it's good.
Yeah, it's a lot of developers here. It's nice. It's interesting because we've never heard someone compare Space Scavenger to that game, but we did hear, I think it was 8 different games that people were reminded of when they were playing our game. They was like, oh, this is like this game. And another one said, oh, this is like another game. I don't remember the names of a lot of them.
Was it Kingdom Hearts? No?
Kingdom Hearts. Some old Kingdom Hearts game where you could build your ship, apparently.
Yeah.
I'd never heard of that. I think a couple people mentioned that. But I think that's a good thing that it's not like everyone, it's like Minecraft or whatever. It's very different. People have different memories of these kinds of games, but it's not like a perfect match for an already existing game. It's a wide range of things.
Oh, I got that there's no Minecraft in it. Trust me, I got that it was Lego in space. I got that instantly. I'm so thankful you didn't do Minecraft in space. I am so happy you didn't do that. But
we actually had planets for a while.
I'm so glad you didn't go there. Thank you so much.
We scrapped that pretty quickly.
Yeah. It does look like a lot of fun to play, and the game that Cosmic Picnic developed is very similar in some aspects, and the game they make is called Adios.
Oh yeah, that I've heard of.
Oh, that.
Or is it Eidos or something?
No, it's Adios. It's Adios. A play on American. I play on Mexican, I believe. Adios Amigos is their latest edition of it, where it's become multiplayer, and it's a lot of fun to play. I've got the first installment, and I tell you what, I thoroughly enjoy the game. Stream it constantly, and again, like I said, Jacob, Jonas, if there's another addition to that sort of that game style, I'm all over it, which is why I quite literally begged and pleaded G with tears in my eyes to get you guys onto the show, just so I could talk to you guys.
Yeah, we're glad to hear. Yeah. We have actually seen this game. I'm pretty sure one of the guys who made this worked at DICE.
Oh yeah, he did.
Two of them. They both worked at DICE. Okay. Yes. Yeah. But we don't we don't talk about DICE and right now because of the shit they're going through. And the last thing these two guys want to know and hear is any questions about the nonsense. But hey, let's talk about your game and not theirs, yeah?
Yeah, sounds fun.
So, Red Cabin Games. Where did you come up with the name of Red Cabin Games? Why Red Cabin? Why not Blue Cabin or just Cabin?
Yeah, it's actually...
No, clearly not.
No, we met, was it 3 years ago?
Yeah, almost 3 years ago.
Almost 3 years ago. We met working together for a while, and then we said, like, yeah, we want to explore game making.
Yeah.
You've done some games before.
Yeah, I've done a lot of them before.
Yeah. And I was really intrigued in what you could do, and I think we kind of clicked somehow. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then for a week, we rented a cabin in the woods, a red cabin.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where the game was born. We did some prototyping before, but that week in the red cabin in the woods, in the deep Swedish woods, that was
totally isolated, basically.
Yeah. So there under the stars, with the beer in our hands.
Yeah, making a game. That's sort of the kick-starting of this game and our little studio, I guess.
Yeah.
Sounds very romantic. A little cabin in the deep dark woods of Sweden, under the stars, with the beer in your hand. Oh, it sounds so lovely. So, as I said, what are two good-looking blokes doing in a red cabin in the woods of Sweden?
Making a game.
Fair enough. So, what gave you the guys the idea of Lego in space? I must say, I haven't thought of it, and the only thing that I can really sort of think we got the idea from was perhaps No Man's Sky? Was that where you got inspiration from when it comes to something like this?
No, I think No Man's Sky was probably not even in the news when we...
Don't tell them how long we've been working on this.
It's like two or more... I don't know. Anyway, it was not No Man's Sky. It was actually... I made a small jam game a couple years ago, or like 4 or 5 years ago. That was a spaceship flying around planets and using gravity to sort of navigate. And I wanted to make... I thought that was a fun idea, and I wanted to make a bigger version of that. And so one of the first things that we wanted to add was building your spaceship. So you start with a small one, and then just start adding parts. And that was sort of it felt like a no-brainer, and then we sort of made this cool little system where you could build exactly however you wanted, with in a nice little grid system there. And it just turned out really, really nice. So it sort of went from there and expanded on that building mechanic even more.
I think we iterated it a few times. So we just, how can we simplify this build mechanic? So we really tried to iterate and just get it as simple as possible. So giving the game to a new player should be easy to. You can just drag and drop parts.
Speaking of like other games that are similar to this, all of the games that we've seen that are doing anything remotely similar with building your ship, they're super complicated, and like the building is usually a separate mode where you enter and you sort of spend half an hour there just building the perfect ship. We didn't want that. We wanted it to be more just intuitive, and you pick apart. If you play with a mouse and keyboard, you can just drag and drop pieces to your ship however you like, and it just works. And then you fly around with physics, so if you build your ship totally weird, then it's gonna fly weird, and that's totally fine. It's just hilarious. Then you fly around.
Exactly. It's kind of forgiving as well. So
it's not
flying in weird ways, but at least
you can still win if you're good. Like so it's,
apologies. I played way too much Kerbal Space Program. Do we at least get like center of mass? Center of
yes.
Ooh, okay, good.
There's a difference, G? What are you talking about? Just slap on a big rocket and go, boy!
No, it's definitely a different, depending on how you build, and your turn rate changes if you put engines at like far out from your center of mass, then you're gonna turn a lot better. So there's definitely complexity in the building system, or depth, I should say, not complexity. But it's simplified, so in the beginning it's not that it's not Kerbal Space Program in that way that you're gonna crash if you like put an engine in the wrong way, it's just gonna fly weird and be not optimal.
Yeah.
Awesome. So Bamm already mentioned Adios as an example of a game it shares some similarities with. I think the other one that I came up with that I recognized was TerraTech. The idea of taking blocks and putting it on your vehicle, being ground-based in TerraTech.
We're looking at TerraTech as we speak. Yeah, it looks
awesome.
I see what you're getting at least.
Yeah. Now we really worked with the mechanic of just being able to attach parts wherever you want, and we limit some of the parts by having not so many slots, as we call them, so you can't build in all directions every time, so we want it to be different each round and stuff like that.
Yeah, so depending on what parts you find, you're gonna be limited in how you're gonna be able to build your ship. So sometimes you're gonna be forced to build a L shape or something just because that's the parts you find if you're unlucky.
But the core mechanic is just grab parts and slap them on where there's space available, kind of.
And you can find, so the parts that you find are both improve your ship in general, like increase the amount of ammo you can carry, and then there's also, of course, a lot of different weapon types, and so you get like a smasher that's just a hammer basically that smashes in front of you if you attach that one, and you have the machine guns, and you have like chain lightning shooting things, and we're gonna go crazy with that. Lasers, of course. It's a space game after all. Yeah.
Wait, hang on. So I've got rockets, rocket fuel, lasers, machine guns. What can go wrong?
Nothing. It's like I guess we can mess it up, but it doesn't look like it currently. It's running really well, and people seem to like it at Gamescom, so we're enthusiastic.
Well, those mechanics do sound like a lot of fun. My next question is platforms. Obviously, it's running on PC right now because that's where most development happens, if not all. What platforms are going to be releasing on? Is it going to come to consoles? Is it going to go to the Switch? Is it going to come out on anything else we might not know about?
We certainly hope so. We're aiming for that. We're making sure that we work on performance and stuff, because if we're releasing on the Switch, then we're gonna need to be quite efficient compared to just running on a massive PC. So we're making sure that we support gamepads and keyboard and mouse, so we can release on whatever we want. But we haven't pitched it to Nintendo or Xbox or Microsoft or Sony yet, so we'll see what happens with that, but we're definitely gonna try. We're just gonna get a little further ahead in development before we take that step.
But we worked with the gamepad as a main controller, so we really tried to make the building mechanic as intuitive as possible with the controller as well. So it's not something we just pushed till the end or something. So
Just as a side question, which controller did you actually use in the development of the game? Because it'll be an interesting answer.
Sorry, what did you say?
Which controller did you use to develop the game?
Oh, it's an Xbox controller.
Yeah, Xbox.
Yeah. You see, now this is where Xbox are doing much better than PlayStation 4, because they're so easy to port across to the Xbox and have almost no problems with the port at all. Whereas coming across to PlayStation 4, it's a bit more difficult, costs a bit more money. It's a bit more of a hassle. So especially for indie developers such as yourselves and the games that I really enjoy playing, it does put like a pay barrier in front of that. Whereas Xbox, I'm sure there's a pay barrier initially, but it's easier to digest rather than a massive lump sum from Sony for their dev kits.
Yeah, they do have an advantage of being Microsoft Windows and Microsoft Xbox, I guess. Yeah. I think that's a large part of it, but
it's so easy to hook up and everything.
Yeah, it just works immediately. It's nice. It's great. But yeah, the Switch would be I don't own an Xbox One or a PS4, but I do have a Switch. And that would be my go-to. I would really love it on the Switch.
Yeah,
I think
everyone on Gamescom was begging us, can you release this on the Switch?
Is this on the Switch?
No, not yet. Come now.
No. You want to? Okay. But to be honest, if you guys have the market for it, and there is a market for you guys to release it on the Switch, then please, by all means, go and do it. Please go, do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
We will.
I'm not a Switch fanboy. I'm not a Nintendo fanboy. I'm on the PS4, and I'm not trying to be snooty or snobby here. It's just I feel impeded. I feel like I'm not getting the full gaming experience because of the restrictions PlayStation have put in. Meanwhile, I'm watching all my friends play on what I would consider inferior consoles, particularly when it comes to the Switch being a tablet, not a console. But if there's a market for it on the Switch, please guys, go do it. Go do good things.
Oh, poor Bamm.
Don't make me any more jealous than I have that Drake's gonna get to play this game as well before me, because now that's Adios Amigos and this game before me. Ah!
Well, it's a PC Master Race all the way, right?
Yeah, too true. Too true. I heard that. Get a PC, Bamm, you console peasants. I heard that.
But yeah, we'll do our best. PS4 is obviously that's a big market also, if you're talking strictly
Yeah, I think we have one
business
customer
stuff,
at least
so.
that I know.
Oh yes.
We did?
Yes. But the thing is, as I was speaking to someone today, one customer on one console doesn't necessarily outweigh the several 100,000 other customers on other consoles. So you got to go to where your market is. So if it's on Switch, go to Switch. Do good things.
Well, if you're the customer on PS4, it might be worth it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, butter me up, why don't you?
No, but we think it could be actually really nice for consoles. We are looking into developing a kind of co-op mode as well.
Yep.
So maybe where one of the guys with the controller could fly the ship and the other part could steer the guns or something like that. Could be really nice for casual couch gaming.
Oh, come on, it should be full netcode and Battle Royale.
Oh.
Find pieces from each other.
You'd be surprised, or maybe not, by how many people have suggested that. Like, oh, you need a multiplayer mode and Battle Royale. And we're like, oh, well, pump the brakes. It's just two guys. We're doing this in our spare time. We don't have, can't ride 100 player.
We
had a shrinking galaxy. We had the Battle Royale.
Yeah, we basically had the Battle Royale.
We scrapped it.
Yeah.
This reminds me of another space game. I believe it was by Yo Shut Up Games. They did something similar where there'd be a pilot, there'd be an engineer, there'd be a gunner, there'd be a navigator, and everyone would have to work together to get through the game. And I tell you what, that game was a hell of a lot of fun. And the developers for that were a hell of a lot of fun to talk to. Just as crazy, nutty, and batty as all of us.
Yeah, what was the game called again? Did you just...
Oh, it's long gone. Unfortunately, I believe the developer closed up shop because of some unfortunate events, as is the problem with some indie games. But you know, he's moved on to better things, which is always good.
What's the other one called? Where you're two people controlling, like it's a 2D. You share the ship. One you can run around in the space.
Oh yeah, it's Lovers in a Dangerous Space.
Yeah, that one. That's
have you played that one?
Actually, I have. And now that I think of it, this is almost exactly like that. Do it! Do it!
Yeah, some people mentioned that as well at Gamescom. So thought it was similar. I don't really agree, but I guess
I agree.
There's some vibe to it.
Yeah, there's definitely a vibe to it. Coming from the gameplay I've seen on the old YouTube channel that you guys have got, there's definitely some vibe to it. Definitely some similarities.
Yeah, okay.
Actually, try and look up With Friends Like These, it's called. Developers of Shy Kids Club, where you take turns steering and shooting. So one person is steering, the other one shooting, and then depending on obstacles, you switch around.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. Yeah, I'm super excited actually for a co-op mode there. We, like you said, if I like a couch co-op where one player steers and the other one controls the guns, I think it could be a lot of like friendly banter, screaming at each other like, "Oh, what are you doing? Don't fly over there! Shoot that part!" And it's gonna be weird communication issues there, which I think would be a lot of fun.
The game that No You Shut Up Games developed was a game called Atomic Space Command, and the funniest bit I thought that they'd done was they had a massive hand right on the back of the spaceship, and whenever the team managed to defeat an enemy player, this hand would then unfold and then flip the bird as they drove past the corpses, and it just got even more crazy where you could skewer enemy pilots or floating in space, fly past the sun and roast them, and you get the smell of bacon. Just silly additions like that made the game a lot of fun. Just little silly things like that made it a bit more, sucked you more into that universe, that world that they were trying to develop. But they were a good bunch of people.
Yeah. That actually had the whole, you had to build your ship, except you had to build it in advance. You had to choose to put the hand on your ship or the skewer on your ship or guns.
Okay.
So, yeah, not so much find parts, but I could like the idea that one of the parts you find, for example, would be a skewer, as opposed to a gun. You're going, oh, I hope this enemy drops a laser beam so I have something to shoot with. Here, there's a skewer. Now you have to ram the enemies.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna try to go crazy a little bit more crazy with our weapons that we're gonna have.
Definitely, yeah.
If I may, just because you talked about the whole couch co-op, look up a game called Modsork, Modsork. Playing that one 2-man, one with separate controllers. It's a recipe for either verifying that you're good friends or ending a friendship.
That's perfect.
Yes, that is a very, very frustrating and enjoyable game in the same breath.
I have not heard about that.
No, I hadn't until Gamescom either, and I think he's pretty early in development, but it's it's available so people can try it.
Okay.
But expected, I think, late this year or early next year, if I remember correctly. It's just, it's one of those that is a good example of what you can do couch co-op.
All right. Yeah,
and
we're gonna have to look that up. I have not seen it.
Sorry, apologies. And let's face it, couch co-op games, the 2-player games, either they're across the internet or sitting next to you, they're lacking. Right now it's all first person, play by yourself, one player. What happened to the team? What happened to you and your mate? I mean, for example, I'm playing with G, he's in Belgium, I'm in England. We were playing a game the other day called what's that game called? Grave Danger, right? And we have to go through a whole laborious, crazy routine just to get him into a game or me into a game so that we can actually enjoy the game together. And it's a lot of fun playing games like that, Grave Danger, working out puzzles and whatever have you. But anyway, enough about other people's games.
Yeah, we can drift off. We're helping out.
Well, look, we're all interested in games and we all enjoy games, and your game just reminds us of so many other ones that I want to play it. I want to play it now. We've talked about the mechanics, we've talked about the basic structure and so on and so forth. I want to know a bit more about the story. Is there a story to the game?
No, I think we have kind of a story. At least we went a trailer sequence, kind of.
Yeah, a sort of an intro sequence to make sure we explain what's sort of going on.
But I think the story is that you somehow patrol the universe, and you have a small ship with some basic guns, and then some unknown force suddenly destroys your ship. And this is a part of the trailer sequence. So the story after that is that you have to scavenge for parts to get back home again. That's the main story, I think.
Yeah, so you find yourself without you start like just with the basic capsule that you can imagine, small little ship.
And that's the only part that survived.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only part that survived the crash. Perfect, exactly. And then you're sort of lost in space-time. You have to find your way through wormholes and through different galaxies and weird enemies trying to kill you. I guess in a way, as it is a roguelite game, the story is not our main focus, but the story that is there is to make sure that you know why you are lost in space and trying to make you find your way back home.
And
to
I
get
think,
that sort of
it
urgency.
Wraps together rather good that you have to struggle continuously to reach your home planet again.
In your game then, when you have, as I say, you have storytelling, but the parts we find, are they just meant to be generic, or will there be clues to the player in those parts?
Yeah, we currently know, but we had the idea before of having you find sort of like a distorted radio message. And the further you get to find more of those parts to get to try to figure out what the complete picture is of this sort of anomaly that destroyed your ship. So it's a little bit of a detective I guess the story would be sort of like a detective finding clues to what happened, and then at the end of the game you'd be able to figure it out, basically what the anomaly was. But at the same time, as again with the roguelite theme of the game, where if you die you restart from the beginning, it's will be annoying to listen to those recordings like every time you play. So we're sort of trying to figure something else out there, where you could still tell a story without it being annoying in that sense.
Yeah.
So no, it was the butler in the engine room with a screwdriver. So, a new story every time, a new event that caused the incident.
That would be interesting. It would be difficult to record voice messages. I guess we could still use text, but that's not very nice either. So, not something we're looking at the moment.
Cracked up, like radio messages or something would be cool.
Yeah, it would be cool. Yeah.
So yeah,
go ahead.
No, still working on those parts.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I guess I just played too much Cluedo.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fun.
Yeah. My question is, why the hell is the butler in the engine room in the first place, and what's he doing with a screwdriver? He should have a handkerchief or a silver plate.
Have you ever seen the monkeys down in the engine rooms and ships?
They're not butlers. And don't you go about engine rooms and ships, Sunshine. I knew exactly what I was doing.
Apologies, I'm just me poking fun at Bamm's history. But no, it's just storytelling is one of my things. I like to see that there's story in games.
Yeah.
And as you say, it's a roguelike, so storytelling becomes difficult. Quite difficult even.
Yeah, it is.
Repetitive.
Unless you're like Dwarf Fortress, where you generate an entire world every time you play the game, but that's sort of not in our scope.
I don't think Dwarf Fortress will ever release.
Yeah, it's been... How long has that been in development? Like 15 years or something? Yeah.
Yeah. Don't mimic them, please. Do a release.
Yeah, exactly. We want to be done at some point.
That's
so we'll see what...
Future games as well.
Yeah, we have a lot of ideas of what we want to do next. But we're trying to stay focused on this one now. I know from experience that if you start to think too much about the next project, you're gonna lose interest in the current one, and that's a recipe for disaster. So we're gonna keep focused.
What I actually liked, as you said, the background for your name is that you went to a cabin and stayed there and took a deep dive into what you're doing. That can actually help, because that then becomes the basis for where your next project starts. It doesn't start now. Now is not the time to think about the next game. Now is the time to work on it, and then eventually you'll go back to your cabin in the woods with axes. With notes.
Exactly. The plan right now is to keep doing this for maybe another year, 9 to 12 months.
Yeah.
And release it, and then we'll sort of probably prototype for 2 or 3 months, or just do some fun, weird jam games or whatever to get the creativity flowing, and then pick one of the ideas and start up the next one.
Yeah.
Jams are excellent for that.
Yeah, they're great.
So you say 9 to 12 months, so you have already an idea of where you're heading, both feature-wise and release-wise. That's good.
Yeah.
I think we got the scope rather figured out.
Yeah, the past 3 or 4 months we've been doing like the nailing down the final sort of puzzle pieces for what this game is actually about, with the exploration of the planets and the finding parts, and nailing down the build system a lot better than it used to be. So some things definitely happen, and now we're sort of ready to just add more stuff. We have all of the systems ready.
Yeah.
It just everything works together. If we want to add a new module and a new weapon, that takes us like an hour, and then we're done. At least with the basic version. So we feel like we have good control over where we're going and what we want to do next. So that's encouraging.
So like stages, now you've done the mechanical foundation of the game.
Yeah,
exactly. Next comes content.
Yes, exactly.
And bug fixing.
Yeah. So we basically have 1/3 of the game at the moment in terms of content. In broad strokes, I guess. So all of the systems are there. We'll obviously tweak them here and there depending on what's needed, but in general everything is down that we need to be.
Yeah.
Need to have.
Yeah, let's talk in 6 months, see if you still agree that everything was mechanically there.
That's true.
Yeah, we're actually making, as I'm saying this, we're actually redoing some of the things to make sure it's robust enough. But there's just a few things that we pushed off until after Gamescom to make sure that the Gamescom build was stable. And now we've realized some of the things that we need to change, and we're fixing them, and then we're adding content in a month or two. Or in a month, I should say. We should be done by then.
So leading into my next question, where in Sweden are you?
We're in Uppsala, so it's approximately 1 hour north of Stockholm.
It's actually 30 minutes by train.
Oh, 30 minutes.
Do the right one.
I'm just curious because I know in Stockholm there's quite a few events, gatherings in the indie scene. There's an indie evening.
Yeah, there's a few of them. Yeah, we've been to one of those. We should have gone to more, but we've always had something else that's stopping us.
Oh, I'm pondering when you said that you got a lot of good feedback at, for example, Gamescom.
Yep.
Try and hit some of them, because some of them where you can show your game and just get feedback from other developers, but also just gamers, they're really good for getting feedback.
Yeah, that's a good idea. We're definitely gonna try to do that. We were there, was it like a year ago? More than a year ago.
Yeah.
More than a year ago, I think. And we weren't really feeling ready to show our game then, so we were just lurking and talking to some people.
Yeah.
But now we would love to go there again and just... Because they usually do, you can tell them, the organizers, like, hey, we want to show our game for 20 minutes, and they'll give you a time slot next to a TV and just show off your game.
Yeah, they
people
even
can try
had the TV last time.
Yeah,
they had a really good setup.
Yeah, like a big screen TV and a nice little sort of a mini cinema type setup.
We've been doing some playtesting at home as well with some of our friends. And
yeah,
as you said, it's so helpful. Like we can't stress it enough for indie devs. Like just test the game.
Yeah, it's crazy how much you don't think of.
Yeah,
I don't know how many times we've been like, how stupid are we? How could we not have seen?
That's what we say after every
playtest. We're like,
how did we think?
So it's if any developers are listening, invite, like, usually more than one friend is better. If you have 2 or 3 that can sort of talk to each other and come at the same time to sort of discuss the game with you and with each other. Seeing other players, new players teach other new players is one of the most fun things.
And when we knew that the game was going to be good was when the playtesters started discussing different metas, how to complete the game. Then we knew it was going to be okay.
Yeah, we had like one guy who tried the game and he picked up a certain module in the beginning and he loved it and he got really far, and then suddenly he died because he made some stupid mistake, and then he played it again and didn't find those same parts, and then when he watched another player try it, and he was like, oh, you found one of those parts, come on, you gotta use that one. Super excited to see how the other person made it. So it sort of became, and different people got different favorite parts, chip parts, so
yeah, it was so much fun.
Yeah.
See, that's where I've done programming and software development in the past. I would never ask my friends to give feedback, because either they're gonna be assholes about it, that might just be my friends, or they're going to be nice about it and then be useless. I just want honest feedback.
Yeah.
I like the idea, because I know somebody who does one of the events in Stockholm where it is in a bar, and the idea of getting people drunk first before they give feedback.
That's really good.
That's actually pretty smart. We're gonna have to try that sometime.
Although knowing alcohol prices in Sweden, okay.
That might be expensive.
Not on us. The bears. Not.
Yeah, they have to get themselves drunk.
Yes, they pay for themselves.
But yeah, they're definitely, where they're not assholes, but they're probably in the second category there, where they're super nice about stuff and don't tell us exactly what we want. But it's not useless. It's still nice.
Well, I like the idea that having multiple of them and have them interact with each other and then observe the interaction.
Exactly.
About it.
That's what I've found. At least in the beginning, I think it was more like, oh, they don't understand this mechanic, or they don't understand what they're supposed to do. But now, once we've gotten past that, and we want more feedback on like what's fun and what's not fun, then that approach where they talk to each other has been very successful, I would say.
And it's so interesting. I think we had so high expectations, like for the first playtest.
Yeah.
And everything was so bad.
Yeah.
I don't understand how we can make it so bad. But again, like stressing it for other indie devs out there that you gotta try the game, or they let other people try the game. It's so important.
And fairly early on too.
Exactly. Yeah, we did it. The first one was, I think, maybe almost exactly a year ago, and we have videos of it because we recorded the screen and we even had the webcam and everything, so we could see their reactions and recorded what they were saying, asked them to think out loud and stuff like that. So I don't know if it's depressing or uplifting to go back and watch. It's kind of both, because like Jacob said, it's compared to what we have now, it's so bad. But at the same time, it's also very uplifting on like how far we've come and how much improvement we've made, partly because of the feedback that we gathered from those playtests. So it's really important.
Yeah, I can imagine early on you just have that blindness because you're focusing on something.
Yep.
You're just blind to all the things around it. You can't see the forest for all the trees, so to speak.
Yeah, blindness is a good word for it, I would say, because that's sort of what happens when they tell us stuff and we're like, how could we have missed this?
Yeah.
Oh yes, I'm all over this. So in the development, right, you guys have had a lot of friends and playtesters help you out. Who else is in the team? Is there only just you two? Are there sound guys? Are there Foley guys? Who else is helping you make the game?
We have a sound guy that's sort of a friend's friend that we got in contact with a long time ago. He's been making really nice music. He doesn't have as much time as we do to work on it, so there's been stretches where it's been we haven't been able to make a lot of music, but that's fine because currently up until now we've been changing a lot of stuff, so it didn't matter that much. And he's really talented, really nice music. Sound effects we're currently purchasing or finding or making ourselves.
Yeah.
But it's just us for now, and then that guy who makes music is called John. We'll keep it that way. I don't know if we get some sort of funding or something from a publisher or investor or something. We might invest in some guy who makes, VFX or animations and stuff like that. But currently we think we're doing fine. A lot of people gave us good feedback on how the game looked and said it was nice.
Yeah.
So currently we don't feel like we have we don't have the money and we don't have really the need for anyone else.
Yeah, we really try to keep the scope down as well. Like we want to do it by ourselves, and trying to keep the scope down as well, and not get any feature creeps or something.
Well, that's an admirable target, and may I say that visually it's very clean. It's very nice to look at.
Oh, thanks.
And the music that I've heard so far is actually soothing, calming. I like it. Fitted well. There might be music I haven't heard yet. There might be terrible music somewhere. I don't know. What I've heard so far sounds good.
Thanks.
Yeah, the soothing, calming. That's the main piece of music that we have right now in the world that we showed at Gamescom. We're probably gonna kick it up a notch for the coming levels, where it's slightly more intense, where it gets more difficult. And of course, we're gonna have it more dynamic probably in the coming months and the coming year. We're gonna add some more. Make sure that when you're in an intense situation with a lot of enemies, then the music kicks up a notch.
And he's been working a lot with changing the music when you interact with the world. So when you explore planets, maybe there's a tempo change or some volume increasement, decrease or something. So he's been working a lot with that, and it's turning out good, I think.
Yeah, really nice.
I'd say there's a few libraries available. I don't know, are you doing this in Unity, right?
Yeah, it's Unity.
There's a few libraries for doing dynamic audio changes. Some of them are actually pretty good.
Yeah, we heard someone mention that at Gamescom as well, told us to use some third-party audio applications. We haven't looked into that, but we are definitely going to have to do that in some form soon.
It's one of those areas where you can sink a lot of time to get it just right.
Yeah,
but
that's the dangerous part.
You can sink a lot of time into integrating a third-party thing, and then find that it doesn't work for you. So it's a risk either way.
Exactly. So we'll see. Our music guy is actually a pretty good coder as well, so he enjoys looking that stuff up. So we hope that he might be able to do it and just solve it for us. Fingers crossed. We'll see what happens. Yeah, at the same time we're doing all of the coding, so in some way it's probably good if we do it, so we know what's going on. But we'll see.
The reason why I asked if there is anyone else in the development team is my next question leading that is funding. Is this self-funded?
Yeah, we both have full-time jobs at the moment, so we're doing this on evenings and weekends.
And in cabins.
Yeah, and in cabins on vacation days.
Yeah.
So yeah, currently that's the plan. We're saving money currently, so we'll see next fall after we've released this. We're hoping to have saved enough to be able to go indie for a full year and do this full time. That's the plan, and hopefully any potential income from Space Scavenger might help as well. So maybe that's the real kickoff. We'll have to go to a cabin again to sort of make a kickoff 2.0 where we can actually start working full time.
But if any publisher is listening
yes.
that has too much money, just send us an email.
Yeah.
We'll sort it out.
Nice one. Well, yeah, you're going to run into all of that with having to find PR and whatnot. Oh, it was so fun.
Yeah, that's not my favorite parts of game dev, and I don't think it's anyone's.
we tried the videos as you said, and we have a few views, but our faces are not that pretty. So
it's probably that we're too ugly.
Yeah.
That's probably the reason.
Oh, come now, boys, come now. Two gentlemen like yourselves with two dashing beards. I mean, come on. All you need is a beard and you're automatically sexy. Done, that's it.
We're not trying to sell the game, we're trying to sell ourselves somehow.
Yeah.
There we go.
Well, technically that's legal in Sweden if I'm not mistaken, so go for it.
I don't think... what it is? It's illegal It's only legal to buy.
Oh, so we can't sell ourselves. We cannot buy.
We can sell ourselves,
Yeah,
but anyone who buys us will be breaking the law.
Okay. So
yeah, sorry. It's for the rest of the world, Sweden has interesting rules on the selling of oneself.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know, G.
like
The rest of the world has very strange laws on doing with things. It's still legal to shoot a Welshman with a crossbow after midnight in England. That's still legal somehow.
Is that true, or is it just a...
No, that's true, dude. Seriously, that's true. That is true. Outside the walls of a certain city, on the borders of some place, God knows where, you're allowed to shoot either a Welshman or a Scotsman with a crossbow. It's legal. There's no course of reaction. You're allowed to do it. Not that anybody would do it, but it's legal. It's like,
Alright.
Definitely want to rescind that law.
It's like the king in Sweden. He can also do whatever he wants.
Oh, yeah.
You can go chop someone's head off in the middle of the street and no one can do anything.
He looks too nice to do that. He looks too friendly.
Yeah, he just goes to strip clubs.
Does he?
Yeah, that's his thing.
I missed that.
I heard about that, yeah. Well, you know what? If that's what he wants and everybody are otherwise okay with it, the participants, and go for it.
Exactly.
Go to a strip club.
If anyone else can do it, why not him?
I thought you were going to say, well, if anyone's a willing participant to get his head chopped off, well, go for it. I'm like, hang on, what? What? No, G, no. Then you say strip clubs, I'm like, okay, that's better.
But yeah, there's weird laws everywhere. It was just one of those weird sidetracks. Apologies. No, your videos, I actually like them. They're nice and honest, and they show what you're doing and who you are, and they also show the level that you're working at. It's an indie game. It's not a AAA.
Yeah, I think.
I would say don't lean that far into the camera. Sit up, sit back, relax a bit.
That's good.
Go for it.
Yeah. We tried something new last video where we were sitting in the sofa, and we decided to probably not do that again because we were sort of slouching and didn't. Yeah, we looked a bit tired, more than usual.
Just don't do the Elon Musk thing, yeah?
What's that?
Oh, it's smoke weed on podcasts. So.
But no, keep doing it, and you'll slowly improve it and figure out how you want it to look stylistically. Yeah. And in a year's time, when we talk, you will be looking properly professional.
Yeah, we hope so too. That's what we're saying. Every time we make it, we feel a bit awkward. But then every time we learn something, and we sort of go from there to try to make it better every time.
And will you get that one comment from a viewer?
Yeah.
It's kind of fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, we get most of ours go out by MP3s, so the show goes out as audio only, but there's a video version as well, and that one doesn't get a lot of views, but people do react once in a while, going, oh, somebody's watching, yay!
Yeah, exactly.
But no, you seem relaxed and you do so here. It's been a joy talking to you guys. You don't sound like it's something you haven't done before or anything. You sound professional.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having us. It was a lot of fun.
It was really fun.
Well, I've still got some questions to ask you. I just want to know where I can get a hold of you boys if I need to. I mean, I've already joined your Discord. That was easy enough to do. I'm there. I'm going to be quizzing you guys on many things, particularly about the Swedish king able to chop heads off, but that's a story for another day. Dudes, where can I get hold of you? Facebook, Steams, Pinterest, all those bits and pieces. What accounts do you have, and where can I get hold of you?
We have a website called spacescavengergame.com. There you can find links to all of our social media. The one we're using the most, besides Discord, where we share recent builds and stuff. The one we're using the most other than that is Twitter, where we're just called Space Scavenger.
There you can find a lot of funny GIFs.
Yep.
And we post some dev mistakes and stuff like that.
Yeah, try to post as many GIFs as we possibly can, but it's hard sometimes. But yeah, we post GIFs, funny bugs, weird stuff that we're working on, and just random game development thoughts.
And as you heard before, if you want to see our faces, just go to the YouTube.
Yeah. You probably don't, though. We're sort of ugly, like I said. But yeah, we have the YouTube video, and we changed our YouTube.
Yeah, but everything is on the website.
Yeah, exactly. Go to the website.
SpaceScavengerGame.com.
Yep.
And if I'm not mistaken, we have to add that if you go to the Discord, there might be a link to download a copy or early build of the game.
Yes.
Exactly. Yes. So we have an early version of the game, and we're gonna try to continue with that, so we push changes as often as we can. So just join our Discord and you can get a free copy and try it out and give us feedback.
Yeah. So anyone who wants, basically, if you want to download it, join our Discord, and that link is also on our website. So currently the one that's up now is the Gamescom build from a few weeks ago, and as soon as we're done upgrading and we have a stable build, we're gonna push that and make sure that people can download that and give us feedback and try the game.
Yeah.
The only feedback I can give is please build a Mac version.
Oh, that's good feedback.
That's a good feedback. Yeah, that's good. We're gonna do that. We have Mac computers, so we can do that properly and make sure we test it before.
See, Bamm is not difficult. People will build.
Oh, I'm shot again. This is like a second podcast in the row. People actually own the Switches. They love the MacBooks. I'm just shot. Oh.
In my defense, it's Jacob that has the Mac computer.
But you can build the Mac from your.
Yeah.
You can just confirm it.
Yeah, exactly. You need a Mac to confirm that it's working. I think so. I haven't actually tried.
We're definitely gonna add a Mac.
Yeah, we'll do that.
We'll fix that.
I can confirm in Unity you can cross-build fairly easily. Just don't rename it. It's supposed to be a folder called .app and transfer the whole folder. I've had to tell that to Unity developers a couple of times.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Bamm, I think you have a last question to ask.
Negative Ghost Rider, this is part of your contract obligation section 2 under the subscript of A3 and 4. It is your question, sir.
Hey. Okay. Jonas, Jakob, apologies for this thing. Bamm makes me do it. I have a final question. The penultimate question. And I don't even know what one would answer when from Sweden. Well, we had Swedish answers, but I can't think of anything stereotypically Swedish to answer, so looking forward to it. The question in all simplicity is, bacon. What kind of bacon do you like? How do you like that bacon? Fried, cooked, vegetarian? And what kind of beverage do you want with it? And I'm assuming, since Systembolaget is closed right now, it will be water.
I think I prefer the smoked one. The smoked fried bacon. That's a good one. Maybe actually with a glass of chocolate milk. Ooh. Oh boy, in Sweden. That's now I get some cravings. Oh boy, cravings. Yeah. Smoked
weird one.
fried bacon with chocolate milk.
Okay.
That's different. That combination I have not gone into. Oh boy is good, but it's a weird combination. Sorry.
I'm going for the just regular fried ones in the pan. Pretty solid to make sure they get crispy enough, and then
solid as a brick.
No, but they should be. If you hold it in between your fingers, it should go straight out.
Crispy.
Yeah, crispy. And then I would just probably have I love Coca-Cola, so I'll just have a Coke.
A Coke
and a nice bacon. Crispy bacon. Sorry?
That's a good amount of acid right there.
Yeah. I have to brush my teeth a lot. I drink a lot of Coke.
Yo boy, I'm still a little bit taken back.
I must say, chocolate milk is the first time I've heard that one. And I know our prices of beer and alcohol in Sweden is a lot. So that's what's driven you guys to chocolate bacon and Coca-Cola? Interesting question, I think.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't usually drink beers as... Maybe sometimes with a steak or something, if it's like a nice dinner.
Yeah, we can afford to drink it like an everyday beverage.
Yeah, I don't drink it like... I think once I've had it by myself. And I regretted it afterwards because it was like a...
I think I had beer once.
By myself, that's what I wanted to add.
Okay.
I usually just drink it at a party, or like I said, if it's at a nice dinner, like instead of wine or something, you just grab a beer.